The other thing that we get to do next year is finally Yeezys are coming to NBA 2K17. Finally, locker codes are coming back.
Boosting 2K.
You guys keep saying respect. If I lied, don't you guys think I would actually not be able to have a job?
I didn't think you'd ever get to this point, but here we are. Ronnie2K hops on live streams and actively lies about me. And the lies have been progressively getting worse to the point where he just feels really comfortable talking about private details in my life publicly.
How did 2K go from one of the most beloved franchises in the gaming space to one of the greediest companies known to man? This is the sad story of 2K's great downfall. Before we actually talk about 2K games, we first need to talk about somebody else, and that someone else is Ronnie2K. And if you don't know who this is, consider yourself blessed. Ronnie2K, or Ronnie Singh, is the digital marketing director at 2K Entertainment. This is the guy that everybody turns to. If they have a problem with 2K, they go to Ronnie. Ronnie actually was going to become a lawyer and then fell out of love with the job and wanted to follow his passions. Then he started working for a minor league women's basketball team, and then eventually got picked up by 2K early on. Then he gets promoted to digital marketing director over time. How does an employee of a company end up getting a Twitter hashtag trending about them, wanting them to get fired from their job? What could this man possibly have done? Well, it's actually a lot. First, let's start with the lying and manipulation. Falsely advertising one thing is maybe okay as the head marketer of 2K. When there is literally lying compilations about you, it's not really a joke anymore.
That's not the neighborhood, but you guys can think whatever you want. One for years. You know, this is how we release trailers, always release trailers. You don't get gameplay until closer to, and the biggest reason is, I mean, if you think about it, the gameplay is going to be so different from what it is today to then that it's not even, you know, that. So, you know,
really, that's not the neighborhood, but you guys can think whatever you want. Ronnie is literally the king of cap and gaslighting, which is why people started to not like him more and more. And also, he just seemed like he wasn't really that good of a person. I mean, just look at this tweet. That's a bad look, bro. Why are you going after an NBA player's wife? But what really made people to not start to like Ronnie was when Agent released this video titled Dear Ronnie2K. In the video, Agent goes over what Ronnie was saying about him and exposing the truth about the situation. Just to recap, the head of marketing, who's supposed to be doing all of the marketing for the game of a company, is lying about future games, which is false advertising, beefing with content creators, and is overall not liked by the community, which apparently is a great look to work for 2K, because he still has his job to this day. So I guess it doesn't really matter, but that just goes to show who works for 2K and what kind of company they are. I'm not saying that everyone who works for 2K is a terrible person. This man is not the best look for the company, but just remember that's not the neighborhood, but you guys can think whatever you want. Anyways, this video is not only about Ronnie, but this is about 2K as a whole and how they had such great control over the basketball community and now are very frowned upon. But what made the old 2K so great? Well, to answer that question, we have to go back to arguably the greatest 2K of all time, all the way back in 2010, NBA 2K11. Even before that, we need to talk about the 2K versus EA dynamic. In the early 2000s, NBA Live bro, these fucking birds, man, outside. NBA Live reigned supreme over 2K as a franchise, and everyone was playing live. But what made people actually switch to play 2K? It was actually their graphics, which, yeah, graphics matter today, but not as much as they did back in 2010, which obviously you're gonna play the basketball game that looks and feels better. Also, they did have Michael Jordan as their cover athlete, so maybe MJ fans wanted to pick up 2K and try this new basketball basketball game. Whatever the reason actually was, more and more people started to play 2K over Live, but the competition was still on between EA and 2K, which actually led to better basketball games. Isn't that crazy? Competition actually leads to better games. Throughout the next couple of years, 2K and EA were battling each other, and 2K was taking a very large lead. Especially with the next generation of consoles, 2K's game looked amazing and EA's games were getting canceled. Anyone who played the later Live games knew that they felt and looked terrible compared to 2K. So while EA is struggling to make a good basketball game, 2K is thriving, basically peaking with the games that they are making games like 2K14, 15, and 16, which are basically the 3 greatest 2Ks of all time. And how can 2K maximize profits with these amazing games? Of course, and VC, dummy, come on now. The addition of VC definitely boosted profits for 2K instantly and over time. Being able to spend actual money to upgrade your My Player or buy VC to upgrade your My Team is a great concept for money making. Is it ethical? Not really, because when the majority of players playing your game are kids, and introducing things like microtransactions is a pretty evil thing to do, especially when the newer 2Ks really ramped it up. Anyways, I want to go back to the 15, 16, 17 era because this was peak 2K. The game was so fun. VC prices were not outrageous. Parks were sick. We had affiliations. The gameplay was so fun. Speed boosting was in the game. Badges weren't atrocious to get, and you could literally buy badges in 16 to 15, but I like 17's system the most with badges. It was a great, simple build system that didn't feel like you were going to make 18 builds. You know, you could use just 1 or 2 builds. Let me say this again. VC prices were not outrageous. Game didn't feel like, let's try to get all the money out of these people. It felt like, let's try to make the best basketball game we can make while trying to still make money. Nothing can beat these years, the golden years of 2K. Then after NBA 2K17, something terrible happened. NBA 2K18 dropped. This was the by far worst 2K of all time, easily. NBA 2K18 changed people's opinions about 2K just based on how bad it really was. Microtransactions in this game were out of control for the time. Now it's even worse, but let's focus back on 2K18. Pretty much 2K just tried to see how much they could get away with while trying to maximize profits.
That's not the neighborhood, but you guys can think whatever you want.
The game was a literal disgrace, and it made people finally wake up to realize how greedy 2K really was. Next few 2Ks were released, and they kept pushing microtransactions. If you guys never played 2K before, basically it costs $170 now to play the game. And you're probably thinking like, bro, there's no way it actually costs $170 to play the game. If you want to play Park and play with your friends and be able to compete at a normal level, at a casual level, you have to buy VC. You have to make your player, which you could easily screw up with the complicated pie charts that they introduced, and 2K could nerf your build, making your $50 that you spent on the game worthless, because there is no way to actually earn this virtual currency unless you play hundreds upon hundreds of hours where your player is complete garbage. Even if you make your guy that can only specifically shoot threes, he won't be able to shoot threes. He can't even do what he's designed to do without spending actual money on the game. I don't even want to get into animations and badges and how messed up the whole system is, how much of a grind it is when it's not even worth the time. And 2K now is so bad at actually balancing the game because you can get basically any badge in the game. The whole system is pretty fucked up. You're probably saying, Twan, what if you don't want to play my career? You want to play my team? Okay, let's see how my team's doing. Do I even need to explain to you how this is so messed up? EA and 2K literally promote gambling to kids in chance that they get a good pull of a card, which is literally useless a year later because they release a new game. Newer 2Ks are also not even that much fun. If you actually put in the time and grind out badges and max out your player by spending another like $100 on the game, actual gameplay just doesn't feel as fun anymore. Maybe because there's a $100 paywall at the start of the game. I don't know, maybe that's it. Anyways, how do you fix the problem with 2K? Don't play the game. Oh my gosh, what? You don't buy the game every year. What? No. Pretty much every year the cycle continues. People see a trailer for the game, not gameplay, a trailer, because, you know, why would 2K actually release gameplay before you buy the game? The hype starts for the game. Oh my gosh, this is the best 2K in the decade. Yes, the VC prices are the same, but look at the dribble moves. Look, you see him? You see dribbling? Dribbling's back. You really want to boycott the VC prices because that's really what is wrong with 2K. The microtransactions, that's it. Everything else is alright. You know, it's buyable. I'll buy the game every year because I like basketball, right? 2K is never going to actually lower the VC prices, and that is the truth. 2K now makes so much money that they don't care about their public perception. If they cared about that, they would have took microtransactions out of the game completely and made a good basketball game. I had notes here of how to actually fix 2K, but it doesn't really matter because they're never going to change, and I'm now realizing that as I'm saying it. If you're sick of 2K, just don't buy the game and play something else. That's it. There is no other option. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Have an amazing day.